For example, the carbon tax back before, around 2018, it was tough for us to get pieces published on the carbon tax because they'd say something like, oh, well, it's helping the environment, which it wasn't. It's not costing that much money, which it was. But now I think the message has gotten through, symbolically even to people, of how terrible the carbon tax is. And it's so unpopular that the folks who crafted it, okay, people like former BC Premier Christy Clark, who had a carbon tax and loved it for years in British Columbia, people like the Liberal candidates are having to go, you know what, maybe we should throw this thing overboard because it's really bad. If even those folks are now saying we need to scrap the carbon tax, I think we've turned a corner. I think that symbolizes that people are engaged, they're in the arena, they're mad as hell, and they're not going to take it anymore. So I do have hope that things are going to improve over the next few years.
Good. Now, you mentioned earlier wanted to finish on a positive note, which you've just started with. I like to finish interviews on a positive note. We often have to talk about some very grim things that are happening to our country, but I am quite certain that the CTF has done a lot of research on this and how we might fix these problems. What are some of the proposed solutions?
Awesome. So the big stuff, okay, if anybody wants to actually figure out how to balance the budget, they can go to our website, taxpayer.com, look up pre-budget reports. Okay, we've got them there like probably for the last decade at the federal and provincial levels. And like I was mentioning, my friend Franco Terrazzano, our federal director, I think his last pre-budget report was like 72 pages. And he's going through line by line. Here's where you reduce. Here's where you cut. Here's where you save money. Here's how you can, all this stuff. And he balances the budget. The short answer is, if the federal government went back to the 2022 level of projected spending by the Trudeau government, we would balance the budget. It's wild. This is how much money we're wasting all the time.
So the point is, if we get rid of all the wastage, we can balance the budget.
Totally.
We can pay down the debt. We can return Canadians to a secure environment where they can feed their children and put a roof over their heads and maybe even own a home.
Yeah, this is so doable, okay?